Hello and welcome to Louisiana and Beyond. I'm Martin Folse.
And I'm Lonnie Thibodeaux. Today we're heading straight to Grand Isle, a community that's the heart of Louisiana's coast.
We've got an incredible lineup for you. The Governor Jeff Landry and Mayor David Camardelle, community leaders Gordon Dove, Tony Alford, Corey Keefe, Dwayne Bourgeois, and Mitch Marmande.
And we'll get an inside look with CEO Mark Prejean of Grand Isle Shipyard, a Louisiana-grown company that's been a cornerstone of our industry for generations.
It's all about people, leadership, and protecting our coast.
So stick around. It's all coming up on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drilled deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
You know, Louisiana's coast is not just land, it's our heritage, our economy, and our way of life. From the fisheries that feed our families to the energy infrastructure that powers our nation. Our coast is vital to our state. And protecting it is not just important, it's an absolute necessity. This administration is focused on real practical solutions, projects that actually restore our wetlands, that strengthen our levees, and protect our communities without trampling on our fishermen and our culture. We do it by partnering with local communities, private industry, and federal leaders to make sure that every dollar is used wisely and effectively, that every project completed is an investment in our people and in our state and in our future. And we've made so much progress, but there's way more work to be done. And so my promise to you is that we'll continue to fight for a strong, safe, and sustainable coast, prioritizing projects that protect our people and our culture and our way of life. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Powerful words from Governor Jeff Landry, reminding us that protecting Louisiana's coast isn't just about land or water. It's about safeguarding our people, our culture, and our way of life.
Exactly, Martin, and no place embodies that spirit more than Grand Isle. a community that lives and breathes resilience every single day.
From its fisheries and tourism to serving as a critical barrier island, Grand Isle is vital to our economy and our coast future.
And at the heart of it is Mayor David Camardelle, a leader whose family lost everything in Hurricane Betsy 60 years ago, and whose relentless drive to protect his island and his people continues to inspire.
Now let's hear from Mayor Camardelle himself and discover what fuels his commitment to keeping Grand Isle strong, safe, and thriving.
I mean, it was since Betsy. I was 11 years old. Port Fourchon had a log there, and we walked that all the way to the Chenier Cemetery. And my mother, my dad, my mama's brother, and my brother, we walked. And I'll never forget that. She sat on that tomb after Betsy hit, and she was crying, kept on looking to the right. And we couldn't figure out why, but we realized after Mama don't cry, we young. And I'll never forget, we lost the restaurant, we lost the house, you can see that. So she said, well, look, we're gonna make a little sandwich. And we had Vienna sausage and made us a little sandwich, and we ate, and then we kept it positive. And my dad was 34 years old, 35 years old, and standing on the pylons, had 3 pylons left of the house. And I'll never forget that. He said, we're gonna rebuild, we're not going nowhere. So we lost our business, we're gonna do it. So that was in the bloodline. 45 years later, Katrina hits, and I stayed with Wendell in Lockport with the sheriff and Bud Dill and all. And we got in a helicopter, and we made sure we took a ride to see what's going on. But then we decided to come back truck. And I counted every pole on the back of the truck. I think it was me, Wendell, Cam Ovon, we all got in the back of one truck. Had a cluster of us in there. And we came, and then once we walked, we got to the cemetery. I said, let's take a break. And I'll never forget, I had my guys in the pickup truck, had flat tires and all that. And I said, let's take a break. So they took the ice chest. I'm sitting on the same toe of my mama. And they pulled out a case of Vienna sausage. And I'm looking up there like, really? So one of them a couple of guys lost it. They said, we lost everything. I said, man, sat on the tomb, got up, stood up on the tomb with the cross behind me, was leaning. I said, look, I promise you we'll rebuild everything. We didn't lose a life. So far, the ones that stayed, everything came together. And went through major hurricanes, but I never lost a life. But it's thanks to the genuine, the people that lived there, that stayed, and the ones that come in, especially the people that come out and help us from all over the world. You know, my heart's out to tell them thank you. Every disaster we went through, every storm I went through, people love to come and help out, you know.
So people come from all over the world to visit Grand Isle. So that's a huge economic boost for the state. Not to mention Jefferson Parish, but it's a very huge economic boost for the state. And the way I see it is, I know how important this Morganza system is. Now, how do you place a value on which one's more valuable than the other? They're all the same. I mean, Grand Isle's got a huge level of importance. Yeah, their population may not be as great as the rest of us, but when you look at the economic value, well, you got to apply variances to these things to realize that the values are damn near close. And all of us are that way, you know. No one looks at Grand Isle and says, oh man, you know, it's Grand Isle. It's not that way. Plus, we have Mayor Camardelle on there. And look, Mayor Camardelle, as long as there is a grain of sand to stand on in Grand Isle, he's not leaving. You know, and you got to admire that, because he really has his heart and soul into that island. Now, when we start talking about what's its values for protection, you know, the Barrier Islands are slowly turning into something that we're realizing the value every day. And you know, years ago when we were talking about this, it was it was just a conversation. It's not a conversation anymore. I think now, facing the bitter reality of that we neglected that for too long is beginning to take surface now, and Grand Isle is a big piece of that. So they're like the anchor, really, if you want to know the truth of what's going to take to restore the Barrier Islands.
As much as Grand Isle's actually in Jefferson Parish, that was some sort of land grab deal that went on a long time ago. Grand Isle's Lafourche, right? I mean, they are us, right? And so Mayor Camardelle is also head of their levy district. He is actively involved in the Association of Levy Boards. He's the chairman of one of the committees for nominations. So we work together constantly. Every issue that they have is our issue, and every issue that we have is their issue. And they support us. I can't say enough about the mayor. He punches way, way above his weight class, okay? And, you know, like Corey said, every grain of sand on that island is important to him, but it's important to all of us. It is a barrier island. It is the major barrier island that we have.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, who do you choose to be? At Nicholls State University, with over 70 distinct degree programs, we believe our students can be anything. Be an artist, a chef, a journalist, an educator, a lifesaver. But no matter what you choose to be a colonel. Be more at Nicholls State University.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
When you talk about Louisiana's spirit of hard work, resilience, and innovation, Grand Isle Shipyard always comes to mind.
Started in 1948 as a small family-run business in Grand Isle, GIS has grown into one of South Louisiana's most respected companies, expanding into energy, infrastructure, and global projects.
Through it all, they've stayed true to their roots: faith, family, and integrity.
And joining us now is the CEO, Mark Prejean, to share how GIS continues to shape the future while staying true to its Louisiana foundation.
So, our company, GIS, was started in 1948 by my great-grandfather and great-grandmother, Clyde and Weta Prejean. So we started in Grand Isle, Louisiana, obviously, and, we were supporting the local commercial fishing industry. But after a few years, we had to diversify, just like the economy of Louisiana. Oil and gas was starting to come to fruition, then the industrial sector and the infrastructure sector. So our business kind of morphed over the years through that. And, a little story my great-grandfather always told us, he's like, I wasn't the visionary behind this business. It was your great-grandmother, he said, because she came to me one day and said, look, our freezers are full. I can't put any more seafood in there. You need to stop getting paid in fish and shrimp, and we need to start making some money. So that's when we pivoted, just like the economy, and started working in oil and gas and diversifying from there. Over the years, as we've gone through the different generations of leadership, each of us brought kind of some unique differences in there. But, I think when you talk about our core values and, staying with our commitment of putting people first and making sure our people feel valued, that's the one thing that's kind of been a cornerstone of our business and been sustained throughout all of the legacies of generations. But, with each kind of step change we've had, we understood that our business needed to be more resilient. Just like my grandfather did, pivoting a little bit, diversifying from just strictly fishing into oil and gas. And, that still reigns true today. I mean, oil and gas has been great for us. But I mean, the world as a whole, we've got some worldwide challenges of needing more energy and more power, whether it be renewable energy, traditional power, oil and gas. So we've had to pivot our business to be more resilient, to be more dynamic, and not to be stuck in just one arena.
Lonnie, GIS started in 1948 as a small family operation.
And Martin, now nearly 80 years later, they're teaming up with Bollinger again, building on that legacy.
My great-grandfather started our business in 1948, but a couple of years before that, he was actually partners with Mr. Donald on the Bollinger side of things. So they started a machine shop in Valentine, was how they both got started really in business. My grandfather had peeled off and went to support Grand Isle, the local fishing industry there, continuing to be a shipyard. And then kind of set roots down there with himself, my great-grandmother, and our family. And then it kind of never turned back and started working in the oil and gas sector and diversifying, while Bollinger still stayed in the shipyard part. So, here we are, nearly 80 years later and kind of back together with some common ownerships and partnerships. So definitely a interesting fun fact about the family of companies. And that mutual respect and working relationship has just made it so much easier as we've come together. And when you talk about our strengths and our infrastructure and our people and, like you said, the brilliant minds of all of these, nearly 20,000 people that's come together to make this whole conglomerate not only something that Louisiana can be proud of, but I mean a true global player. And it's been amazing to get to have a seat at the table to be a part of this whole journey.
Martin, growing a business is tough, but holding on to your values is even tougher.
And GIS has done both, proving you can expand without losing your roots.
I guess the regional and both national and international footprint makes it a little tougher to get to be in front of the people every day, as we started out in these, small, close-knit communities where, we knew the couple hundred people that were working there. We knew their families and all of that stuff. So it makes it a little more difficult as you start having this global reach, right? But I think the foundational principles and values have stayed consistent, and that's been a recipe for success for it. I mean, us taking care of our people, performing, operating with integrity, being innovative, making sure that we're safe. And again, at the core of it is making sure that our people are feeling valued. Whether it's in Louisiana, whether it's in Ohio or Texas or Brazil or Guyana, I mean, truly, if you value your people, they're gonna move mountains for you. And that's something that my great-grandfather instilled in us. I truly believe, from GIS as a whole, that's the one thing that we shine in and sets us apart from so many others, is that we truly care. We truly listen to our people. We not only listen, but we put those ideas into action, and they get to be a part of that vision, and they get to help us shape our future.
And remember, Lonnie, trust doesn't happen overnight. It takes years.
And GIS has earned it with CPRA, local partners, and the coastal community, setting the stage for what's next.
So the trust built is basically on delivery. I mean, you do what you say you're going to do at the end of the day. I mean, Louisiana has a culture. If you give somebody your word, you should deliver. And I mean, for us, just the world is in a very litigious environment, hiding behind paperwork. I think one of our advantages, in our relationship with Guardian and the rest of the CPRA team has been that we can still operate on a handshake, and they can feel confident that we're going to deliver. And, you go back to it, we've got some of the best minds in the business when it comes to infrastructure, engineering. We've been a part of or designed, most of the levee system and the flood protection systems, specifically around this tri-parish area. And, we take a lot of pride in it, not only that we deliver great work, but it affects our local communities. Something happens, something fails, it's our families. that are at stake. This is not some international company just trying to run in here and make a profit. We live here, we set roots here, and we need to make sure it's done right.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drill deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
And we're back with a closer look at Grand Isle and the incredible work along Louisiana's coast. Protecting this community takes focus, dedication, and teamwork.
And Martin, we're hearing again from Mayor David Camardelle along with Gordy Dove, Tony Alford, and Mitch Marmande as they show how local and state leaders are working together to keep Grand Isle strong and thriving for years to come.
You know, for years they've put sand on these barrier islands and it washes away. Especially from Grand Isle to the west is the worst. Now, so Raccoon Island, if you Google it on your phone, it has segmented breakwater rocks. It's 25 years old now. It rebuilds itself in 2 years. I mean, you lapse the time on your phone and you'll see it rebuilds itself. Grand Isle, very successful. Myself, the governor, Governor Landry, we met the Assistant Secretary of the Army, along with 2 generals, General Spelling and General Peoples, and along with Colonel Otan, and we're trying to finish the last 15,000 linear feet of beach with rocks. I mean, your beaches are 1,500, 2,000 feet now due to rocks, so segmented breakwater rocks. In the old days, they put solid rocks. That was the mistake. They didn't allow Mother Nature behind it. So when you segment it, you break them. So the currents come in, deposit the silt, go back out. That's why you see a horseshoe effect, and it deposits it. And the rocks you see when you go on Google Earth or with putting 8 foot of water, and you can see it from a satellite. It works.
Gordy's so into rocks. and seeing you look at a map in the olden days in the 1990s, I remember my mama talking about the little Camarada Pass and all. But like I said, that last island, and then if we wouldn't have got together and when we come up with the rock ideas, sitting here today, probably Grand Isle wouldn't be there. And Andy, they all thought Andy was crazy. He took some glue and he put some rocks together, and we went. And he said, Dave, we got to save this island. Look, all islands around are gone. And we went to the Corps, and they told us no. And Andy said, I'm going to do it.
And we always joke, all these rocks that we're putting in place right now. Well, we have examples out there. We don't have to study it, of the proper placement of rocks and what they mean. They'll be in place. They'll save the islands and do some things like that. And it took forever to sell that. They'd always go to the improper application of rocks, right? In a few places that took place. Well, if you put it properly, just like levees, you can really impact the landscape, but you got to do it properly. And so Raccoon Island is a great example. Grand Island is a great example. Look at what's taking place there.
I think by not putting the rocks, I think that would have healed quick. I'm going to tell you straight up, I just wanted to know if I belonged to Louisiana one time. I wanted to know if I belonged to the United States. And look, I got a suitcase in the back of the car right now. I got guys, my levee board guys are going to meet with me. We're going to buy a tractor. I found some funding to buy a tractor to keep on building little levees and even to rake the beaches. So it's getting better, but I just feel that between Andy's dream and continue putting rocks, there'd be a lot less pressure on us. It'd be healing. And in the meantime, I think the government is seeing now that we got a governor in here that's saying, we're going to rock from the Texas line to the Mississippi line. And the connections that he has, I really think this is all going to be done. And working closely with Gordy and all the team we had, like I said earlier, this is the most powerful people together. Now, look, I'm not talking bad about the past, anybody past, but if I have the connections that we have now, that we have the people in the right places, it's a win-win. But we've only got 3 years to do this.
The fixes are directly related to how much investment we put in those things. So is it hard? Yes, but they're solvable issues. I don't think we can reverse Mother Nature, but we can head off against it. Grand Isle is protected somewhat by Plaquemine, and Plaquemine sticks out a little further. So there's things, when we've put rock on Grand Isle, it has worked. And that's what's exciting now. There's a lot of rock fixing to be placed on Grand Isle. So, and we did it in the past. I mean, as I said, my first design project was putting rock in that levee, and it never went anywhere. That's exciting. I mean, it's exciting to think that they're going to go get that money out there and spend that money on rock in Grand Isle. And really, Grand Isle's taking its beating storm after storm, but Grand Isle's in pretty good shape if you look at it compared to the rest of the Barrier Islands.
If we're 50 years from now, and people are like, David, remember David Camardelle, the mayor of Grand Isle? What do you want people to say about you? What do you want people to remember about you? What's the most important thing that you want people to remember about you?
I saved an island where I was born and raised, and as long as there's 1 grain of sand to plant an American flag, we're not going nowhere. I'm sorry.
From the heart of Grand Isle to leaders across our state, it's clear that protecting Louisiana's coast takes teamwork, community, and a lot of pride.
Absolutely, Martin. Thanks for joining us on Louisiana Beyond. We've seen the dedication, the people, the stories that make this coast so special.
And the journey doesn't stop here. Stay tuned because we'll be back with even more stories from Grand Isle and the amazing people working to keep it strong in upcoming episodes.
Louisiana and Beyond has been brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.